That's cool. I like that. That's it for morning show. With Dan, coming up at the top of the hour, we have Trekcast, the Galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. So stay tuned. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like a bumper. I like it though. In case anybody's wondering, that's the roof of Daniel's house.
Trekcast.
The Galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
From studios in Michigan, Idaho, and New York, and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Trekcast, the Galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Today on the show, we talk about Ghostbusters, Frozen Empires, plus Star Trek news, and your feedback. I'm Scott Bowders, and now, the real Ghostbusters, Dan Lombardo and Daniel Reyes.
The real Ghostbusters.
What
All right. So we're
Morning,
the,
everybody.
we're the cartoon version. How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
It's been a minute.
Man. It's been quite the week. How you guys been?
Yeah. So
Sick.
for everybody who doesn't know, we've got a guest host today.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
There is no Dan, only Zool.
Only Zool. Do I sound like Zool?
A little bit.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Are you a god?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I traveled for work about 2 weeks ago, and I was stuck in the car with a coworker who, the next day I find out he's sick.
Oh,
So,
sure.
Right.
Yeah. So lo and behold, 2 days after that, this guy.
Oh,
This
no.
guy is sick. And I'm 40, wow. 47 years old.
47, huh?
I'm 47 years old. So, I'm not 17 anymore, where it's like Tuesday morning you wake up, you're like, oh, I got a cold. And Saturday you're fine. Nope. We're coming up on 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're not at that age anymore.
Oh God. I hate it. I want to go drive to this guy's house and just knock on the door on a Sunday morning, punch him in the face.
Punch him in the throat.
Punch him in the face. There you go.
Off in his face.
That's for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm bringing this back to you. It's just off in his face.
There you go.
So if I mute the mic this morning, and you see it, that's me coughing.
Yeah.
So it's about to happen right now. So continue.
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. Scott, how have you been?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to seeing how horrible that intro sounds when I re-listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I wish I had a way to turn down the music, but it's a limitation of the software.
Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We like to try new things here.
I think like the Trekcast TNG 10th anniversary special, we are gonna have it down.
Absolutely.
I have been thinking about redoing the intro.
Yeah.
Since we have Scott now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
for little OB.
Yeah. But
I'm doing my best to bring my A game here.
There you go.
Because I don't want to disappoint our
who
tens
told
of
you
millions of fans.
Who told you to
bring your
the
A game? Bring A game. That's it.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
You've listened to the show, right?
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Actually, I'm re-listening to the show because I'm doing a disco rewatch, as
That's
you are,
right.
I know.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm also doing
too.
a Trekcast re-listen as I'm watching the disco episodes. I'm listening to the corresponding Trekcast episodes.
Yeah.
And
how good are my predictions?
Oh, spot
Mine are
on.
awful.
Spot on.
Yikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Ugh, so
Yep.
wrong.
It turns out Q was the Red Angel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I tell you, I am about halfway through season 4. That's the
Okay.
last season, right? Season 4. I'm about
Yep.
halfway through season
Yeah,
4. And I've been on the same episode for like 3 or 4 days. I keep falling asleep in the same spot. And part of it is, okay, I'm gonna take my NyQuil and lay on the couch and watch some
Right.
Star Trek. And
Sure,
7
you're
minutes
playing that game.
7 minutes later, there I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what stinks is, you go to restart an episode and it shows you where you left off, and it's like, this is where I stopped it and rolled over and went to sleep. Let me back it up a little bit. So, you back it up like 3 or 4 minutes earlier. So I've watched the same 3 or 4 minutes like 6 times in a row. And I'm like, when am I going to get to some new content?
Non-stop
Yeah.
Michael crying.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
we used to joke
God.
about it, but as I'm rewatching, I'm like, I'm
All the
sitting on the
time.
couch pointing it off to my wife. I'm like, she's crying again. She's crying again. And my wife is like, she's crying again. Like, yeah, she's crying again.
Yeah.
It's
Scott's sitting there in Michigan, and he's like, where's the phone? I got to call Dan and apologize.
They must have like a tray. They have to have like a tray of like eye drops nearby so that you can put it in the tears.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
So,
Oh.
Well, speaking of tears, let's get to the news.
Star Trek news.
All right. So our first news story is a bit of breaking news coming into us from TrekCentral.net. And apparently, Scott, you had this question last week about Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, whether or not it actually exists. Well, apparently it's out. It's out and loving it, baby. It is out in France. It has been posted to France.tv, which is their public television, similar to our PBS.
Oui.
Yeah. So it is out and loving every minute of it. It was released yesterday. Looks like all the episodes are out. And it's like a streaming service, I guess, over there. All 20 episodes of Prodigy Season 2 are out. And yeah.
So they're what are they waiting to dub it in English or?
I don't know, man. But it is out in France.
I thought this was America.
Right.
I thought we got everything first.
No. The French do, apparently.
It's fine.
Yeah. People are calling it a leak, but I mean, it's their public television streaming service. Like, I don't. Is that really a leak? So,
yeah, it's either like an okay leak, or they're gonna face a massive lawsuit.
Right, or like somebody put the wrong date on when the files go live, and oops,
Right.
So whatever, but it's out. So there you go. I'm sure that'll be hitting a streaming service or a certain bay for pirates. I'm sure that'll be on there soon. Yeah. Our next news story comes to us from Variety. Earlier this week, there was a announcement of a private equity firm called Apollo, who put in a bid to purchase Paramount. They put in an $11 million bid, and so we are now getting reaction from Sherry Redstone. Sherry Redstone is the majority owner of Paramount. She has most of the stock, and she just basically boffed at this $11 billion bid and is basically denying it and not really interested in it. It's not enough. So right now, Paramount still remains for sale, and just not for $11 billion, probably a little bit more.
How we doing on the Ko-fi account?
We have $37.
All right. So we've got some room for improvement.
That's right.
I guess what I'm saying is, if you guys out there in podcast land really want us to right this ship, we're gonna have to plunk some cash down.
Absolutely.
And purchase the fleet. So
right.
Maybe we could pool our money with other like Star Trek podcasts. And,
yeah.
No. We're not sharing. No,
we're
this
not
is Trekcast. This is Trekcast.
No.
Keep it up with the Kardashians do their own fundraising.
Yeah. I'm very leery of a private equity firm purchasing Paramount.
That'd be a disaster.
Yeah. Just what tends to happen with those kinds of situations. Basically that's what happened to Toys R Us and to Sears and to Kmart. Is these firms come in, they saddle the business they buy with a ton of debt, then they declare bankruptcy and pay for that debt for pennies on the dollar. They all cut themselves checks, and that's it. So,
yes and no.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different talking about a retail store
Mhm.
as opposed to IP.
No, Dan, they're exactly
The start
same.
this listen. What I mean is Kmart is essentially worthless right
Mhm.
now.
Right.
Star Trek as an IP will never ever be worthless. They can always do another movie, do another show, crank out some more merch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I want it to be in the hands of somebody who cares about it, I guess is where I'm getting at.
Well,
I think
yeah,
what's more likely is for them to buy Paramount, snap Star Trek off, and resell it
Oh yeah.
to someone else
Yeah.
who maybe will do
Right.
something amazing with it.
Yeah.
right. It depends on who's like in charge as far as like, there's a difference between the bean counters, the accountants and the creative consultants.
Right.
It depends on, who's got more influence, more sway, are they interested in, in the properties? Because I understand this is all just a money game, but some of these people didn't get into this business just for the money. They couldn't have, because there's a lot of great content out there that can't be created by accountants.
Right.
So there's got to be people out there with influence that love what they're making and love what's coming on, that love Star Trek, that have some influence on what's going on.
I mean, you could buy something of value without caring about it at all.
I do love
sell it to someone who does love it. I'll give you the perfect example. You guys know I go thrifting all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I look for G.I. Joes, He-Man, Transformers, all the things that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I see a box of My Little Ponies, I have zero interest in those.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there are people out there who want them. Mm-hmm. So I will plunk down the $3 for that box of My Little Ponies and then spend hours on the internet learning about My Little Pony.
Which pony you have?
Yes, just so I know which pony I have.
Yeah.
So that I could sell it to some 43-year-old woman who wants Friendship Pony to remind her of 1983 or whatever.
See, Daniel and I know the truth. We know the reason why you're in that van right now is because your office is completely decorated with My Little Pony.
I am laughing because I used to work in this office building, and in the lower portion of the building was an independent movie theater. And I was friends with the owner of that independent movie theater.
Oh, I thought you said intimate movie theater.
No, independent, not part of a chain.
And I'm thinking they still have those.
That's right.
Like this story's gonna take a turn.
It was just his apartment. It was really weird. Yeah. Anyways, he would rent out that movie theater on Saturday mornings to a group of bronies, and they would watch My Little Pony on the big screen.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
Jasmine says, "Pony up."
Pony up. There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's what's going on with Paramount. Our next news story comes to us from TrekMovie.com, and the mythical Star Trek Section 31 film has wrapped. So that means they are done filming. We had somebody in the group say that they were suspicious because of how quick the filming went. Well, they did start filming on January 30th. So that's a couple months. So it's about time. And it is a TV movie. I
was just gonna say it's a made-for-TV movie. It's
It's not the Avengers. So it's not going to take months and months and months. They shot the majority of it probably on the volume, and they're going to probably edit it and cut it. Honestly, you could probably see it by the end of the year, but
do we know
for sure?
Other than what's her name?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know who's in this?
They announced the cast, but it wasn't anyone I was familiar with. And when I went and researched them, most of them didn't have like big backgrounds, so I couldn't say offhand. And in this story, they don't list everybody, but
I mean, the last time we saw her, she was headed back to, well, they didn't say the 23rd century, but they said a time when the timelines weren't so diverged, right?
right,
Isn't that the way they
Well,
said it?
spoiler alert, I'm still rewatching it.
yeah, there you go. Here's
Spoiler
some of
alert.
the
Yeah.
people in the show.
I don't see Ass Tyler. Is he in this?
Yeah, I don't see him on there either. So
Oh, did you not
Yeah.
like that character?
Did
Again,
you not?
I'm re-listening
Did you
to
not?
Trekcast
Did you?
from 2 years ago. So
Did you not just hear me call him Ass Tyler?
yeah.
that's right. He was my favorite. Yeah.
So you know what? I mean, I know we're here to talk about Ghostbusters, but this is Trekcast. So,
Yeah.
you know, Scott, what do you think watching it again 5 years later?
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping to bring that up. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons.
Mhm.
The third season, I'm starting to remember why we started to go, we have to watch this. Or I
Mhm.
understand why you guys were like, what, I got to watch this for the show. This is homework.
Yeah.
You know, I watched it this morning on my, you know, on my Apple Watch. Didn't really care, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's the whole 93rd century thing is a little bit old. I'm getting real sick of watching the nacelles detach. It's getting
Yeah.
it's I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't mean to be a you know, the disco hater all the time,
Mhm.
but I really did go into it thinking I'm going to give this a fresh try.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, I watched 3.5 seasons of this. You guys know how I feel about this show, and you know what I've said about this show over the last 5 years. And I went in and rewatched just about the whole thing. So I don't think anybody could say he didn't give it an honest go. But I found a lot of things that I disliked 5 years ago. I'm just not over them.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and I think and I thought to myself, well, maybe the second time through it won't be such a big deal. They fumbled the Klingons so badly.
So bad.
Mhm.
So badly.
Yep.
And I know it's 5 years later, but I'm looking at this going, why? Who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Who thought it
Well,
was a
I
good
mean,
idea to fundamentally change everything we've ever seen about one of the most popular factions in Star Trek?
No,
Well,
you're 100%
you weren't
right.
you weren't here on the show for it, but we did a news story I think last week from Terry Metalis, who talked about Picard season 2 and how they kept telling him it's too Star Trek, rewrite it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
the
mean,
last
that's
thing
kind
we
of
want
the
in a Star Trek series is for it to
yeah,
be too Star Trek.
that's kind of the mentality. So that sucks.
Mm.
And our last news story comes to us from techexplorer.com. And this is kind of interesting. Some top computer scientists say that the future of artificial intelligence is similar to that of Star Trek. So, yay by the headline, but actually, boo when you read it. What they're
Control.
saying is, no, the Borg, that it'll
Okay.
be like a hive mind type thing as computer intelligence continues to grow. It'll be more and more like a giant hive mind that'll be harder to control. So neat. So that's where we're headed.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah. Have you seen the video that I forget which company made it, but they made a robot that's powered by Chat GPT or GP4, I think they're up to now.
The
And
one
it
with
can
the apple?
interact with you. Huh?
Is this
The
the
one-
one that's folding laundry and
Yeah.
washing dishes?
Yeah.
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 And it can do multiple tasks while it's talking to you.
And you know what they did? They added what are they? I can't remember what they call them, but those words that you use in regular speech when you're pausing, like
Yeah.
just adding to the speech pattern of these things, and they sound so much more intelligent and natural.
Mhm.
Yeah. But adding a mistake to that, is that a good I don't get it. It's like adding lens flares. Seriously, I mean, a lens flare is a visual, like
it's a mistake. Yeah,
it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, why would you add to a robot or an android, or you're adding a mistake? I get it to make it more realistic, but all you're gonna focus on are the ums, right?
Mhm.
You know,
They probably have an algorithm do it every 15 words or something.
right?
Yeah.
Lens flare.
Well, I mean, there was an algorithm to make Data's eyes blink at a natural looking.
Fourier system.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Fourier system.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't want
to.
I didn't want to sound like a douche, so I just said,
Daniel, I think that deserves a.
Oh yeah, I was already reaching for it.
Okay.
Warning! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
Indeed. Yeah.
Love it.
So AI is here to take us over and kill us all, probably.
Yeah.
Take our jobs.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just whatever.
It's
right.
it's getting crazy though, because you look at all these different aspects of it, so that they can create these photorealistic 2-dimensional images now, just with text-based prompts. They can write. They can make
videos with text-based prompt.
Well, yes, and they can make videos now, and soon they will be photorealistic. You won't be able to tell the difference. There's still things that you can pick on, but I mean, how far are we from computer? Write a story in the style of Sherlock Holmes with a villain with the capability of defeating Data.
Right.
How far off?
Oh.
My mind keeps going. We talked about it on the show before when we were talking about AI and writing, like movie length or episode length things. They're able to do short videos right now. We're less than 10 years away from me saying, hey, chat, GB, whatever, I want to see a 42-minute long episode that is a continuation of Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 7.
Yep.
Guys,
and maybe I'll give it a couple of parameters. I want to see Cisco like this. I don't want to see him like this. I want to see Major Kara like this, not like this. I want to include these characters, not these characters. I spend like a minute and a half saying what I want to see, and then boom, it gives me,
And then the more you do that, the more it knows you and starts making episodes tailored.
Stories based on what,
So it's worse than that. Okay. Computer. Create a video podcast in the style of Trekcast, circa 2024, reacting to the latest Ghostbusters movie that was released yesterday.
Sure.
And the computer will watch every episode of Trekcast and then recreate us.
Oh yeah.
Except it's gonna like see the two of you, and then the bottom screen in the video podcast is gonna be some sort of amalgamation of like me and Chad, and it's some sort of marriage of the two. It's like if Chad and I had kids. God,
it's like a Tuvix. Don't worry, you're going right out the airlock. It's the only way.
It's SCAD.
Dan, I just typed in your prompt that you just gave, and I got the video. There it is. That's the Trek podcast reacting.
Yeah.
So it's so lifelike. It's amazing.
Actually, yeah. I love the part where it throws turds at the listener.
That's right.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, you're gonna have to watch the show to see the Trekcast.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Well,
did we have a topic?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should get to that. So let's go. All right. So for our supplemental spotlight, we've got a review of the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, just released this weekend. Yeah.
What is Ghostbusters? What is that?
Very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, it is an 80s franchise that is making a revival.
Okay.
Basically, Ghost Exterminators.
Is that the one with the gorilla?
That's the one with the gorilla. Yes.
Okay, all right.
The giant lizard. They destroyed the
No,
city.
the real Ghostbusters.
Oh, the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
I got
Oh,
some
you got
swag.
the is that the bucket or is that the cup?
No, this is the cup.
Okay, okay.
This is the cup. So it's got
Okay.
the
Cool.
yeah. So I got a cup at it's got Ghostbusters on the front with the main villain and the ectomobile, and then a little Ghostbusters emblem topper on the top.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
Dan, do you want to summarize the movie?
Do I want to summarize the movie? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I have a great memory.
Mhm.
All right, so this movie picks up about 3 years after Ghostbusters Afterlife. The Spengler / Gruberson family have moved to New York City. They're living in the Ghostbusters firehouse. They are working as Ghostbusters. Winston and his company are the benefactors. They provide the funding, and the family busts the ghosts. Someone else is gonna have to take
Feels
over.
good.
My voice
Yeah.
is going. I could feel it already.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have the
so-
thing pulled up yet. So
The inspiration for this episode or this show movie was the original cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters. So it very much had that feel, at least in my mind. I wasn't a big Real Ghostbusters fan, but Dan is nodding, so I imagine he agrees.
Yeah.
You know, the whole storyline is they basically accidentally unlock a horrific ghost demon thing that has been unleashed upon New York and plans to basically kill all the humans. And so it's up to the Ghostbusters, both our new and our original from the 80s, to band together to stop this threat. This film is currently sitting at 84% on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score, while a 43% with the critics. So definitely it is the people's movie, which kind of is good for Ghostbusters because they are the people's, they're for the people, not the,
yeah, I don't think anybody ever accused any of the Ghostbusters movies of being critically acclaimed.
Right.
No. And I mean, there's aspects of these movies that are just downright silly. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
the villain at the end of the first one is a giant marshmallow man.
Mhm.
A plot point from the second one is, hey, let's bring the Statue of Liberty to life and walk it down Fifth Avenue.
Right.
You know,
right.
these aren't serious films.
No, not at all.
I
There's a lot
I did notice one of the things, they made sure to reference Ghostbusters 2
Yeah,
a couple
I
of
noticed that.
times.
Yeah.
A couple
Yes.
of times in this movie. And for people who don't know, the reason for that is there was a lot of discussion after Afterlife came out. People weren't sure if Ghostbusters 2 was canon or not,
Mhm.
because there's nothing in Ghostbusters Afterlife that references Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a sillier movie, and it was less well received than the 84 film. And there's actually things that don't match up in Afterlife, don't match up with Ghostbusters 2. You know,
Mhm.
Ecto 1 shouldn't be Ecto 1. It should be Ecto 1A. So was that a
Right.
different car? Did they have multiple cars? I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to think some of the other things that didn't quite match up. They're slipping my mind right now.
Yeah.
But they did reference in this movie. They did show a news broadcast with the Statue of Liberty
Mhm.
when they were in the laboratory. If you look in the background, they were experimenting with the slime blower from
Yeah,
Ghostbusters 2. So they
Mhm.
made sure to reference it. I would have liked to have seen the painting from the end of Ghostbusters 2. It would
Yeah.
have been nice.
Ego the
if that's-
Carpathian? Absolutely.
Well, no, that doesn't exist anymore. The painting at the end of the Ghostbusters and
With all the
baby,
Ghostbusters
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
dressed up
Yeah.
like
You know,
Greek
there were-
gods.
there were a couple of scenes with Trevor and Slimer up in the attic.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been great to just see this thing leaning
That
against the
painting.
wall up there with
Yeah.
a tarp over it. It's like, it's not
Yeah.
hanging anywhere, but we didn't throw it away. We still have it.
That would have been great. Yeah, so this film was made, according to Wikipedia, it was made with a $100 million budget. It is currently sitting at 61.6 million box office internationally. So pretty good. You know, it's looking positive, on track to do well. Yeah, the movie was. What did you guys think of it?
I
My
liked
son
it.
loved it. My
Yeah.
son loved it. My wife
Family loved
enjoyed
it.
it.
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
enjoyed it. It was a good mesh of the old and the
Okay.
new. You know, I was talking with my son on the ride home, and I said, you know, hey, there's a lot of Ghostbusters now. In the end
Yeah.
scene, there were like 10 people standing around
Yeah.
jumping in to do
Yeah.
this. And realistically, that's if this was a real business, a real, you know, thing that happened. It's not four guys in a car. You know,
Right.
in the
No.
very first movie, they were like, we need some help. We need to hire another guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
the merchandising rights alone.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They would need more than just Janine to handle all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the stuff didn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like when they say things like, oh, let's go see a guy. I know a guy, or however it was that they end up meeting with Venkman. He is the least scientific person why it didn't make sense that they met up with him to go evaluate this what was his name, the fire guy,
Oh, the Fire Master.
fire
Yeah,
master.
Fire Master.
You know,
I mean,
it's
he
just,
does have PhDs in psychology and parapsychology, so
he's
you know,
also a shyster.
he is a
Yeah.
shyster, but he's a
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
Because I
don't
kept thinking
know.
the same thing. I'm like, what value does he add? And I'm like, okay, he is smart. He's just a goofball.
right.
Yeah. I think it would be more realistic. It would have been more realistic to just a throwaway line, something to the fact of, you know, Peter never gave up his third of the company.
hmm
You know, Winston is the money behind the Ghostbusters, but it was originally a company started by three guys, and no matter how down on their luck they may have gotten over the years, Peter never sold his third of the company. That's all you would need to have him
Yeah.
in
Right.
there. You know,
Right.
Ray is a total failure. His bookstore is a failure. He you know, he's got nothing. Winston basically supports him, but you know, Peter still has his third of the company. I think that would have been more realistic to get him into the movie
Yeah.
than let's go see Peter Venkman for some science stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not buying it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I did like that it was the same colander from
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the spaghetti strainer on his head.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was good. That was good.
I the more I think about the movie, the less I enjoyed it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I definitely have some issues with it.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I think it was a very good first draft. I think had they worked a little bit more, had more time with it, I think they could have made something really special. So some of my issues are it's more structural in a script, like the main villain, right? Typically in a movie, you want your villain to be built up throughout the movie, and you
Mhm.
want that threat to get more and more built up, right? So, as an example, in Endgame, right, Avengers Endgame, we start out with Thanos. He fights Hulk. We see that he's just a threat just on his own, right? Then he gets a couple Infinity Stones. Now he's a bigger threat. Then it ends the movie with he has all the stones. He is a ginormous threat, right? Whereas with this villain, it's trapped in the ball. It gets released, and they do make a point of mentioning that they took the horns off this thing, and once it got that weakened it, and we were able to stop it. Well, then once it's released, almost immediately it gets its horns back. I think you needed a fight without the horns, where you could see like, okay, the Ghostbusters have a chance against this thing, right? Then it gets the horns, and somehow like, oh my god, now it's worse, right? And you see it somehow visually that it's stronger and way worse, And if they could barely handle it then, how are they going to take it on now? So then
That's a really good point. That's a really good idea.
yeah. I think it
Keep
needed
talking.
stuff like
Keep talking. Keep ruining the movie. Go ahead.
yeah.
No.
It needed stuff like that, right? I think bringing in the Fire Master was an interesting concept. I think that outfit needs a complete redesign, but but it's interesting. I do like the idea of different cultures having Ghostbuster type people,
Yeah.
and I think that could have been a throwaway line, like, yes, specifically in this culture, that's those people, but and like rattle off a few, because then you could use that in other movies in the future, right?
Mm.
We met up with the Japanese versions of what Ghostbusters used to be, and
Yeah.
we learned techniques from them, and that'll give you stuff to play with later, right? Things like that they could have done, that had they had more time with the script, I'm sure it would have been apparent. If I'm just thinking about it in Idaho, I'm sure they were sitting around in the writer's room thinking about these things, right? But Dan's like, you're right.
No, you are right.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the return of Walter Peck Atherton?
He was the mayor, right? Is that what they were
Yeah.
insinuating? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there to be the bad guy,
Yeah. He was
that's
there.
it.
He was there as that was an extended cameo.
Yeah.
Basically what that was. And honestly, I don't know how else you could get him into that movie. He worked for the Environmental Protection Agency in 1984. So even if that was his first day on the job in 1984, he would have retired around 2004.
Yeah, right.
2014 at the latest.
Right.
So he's not at the EPA anymore.
Yeah.
But what do some government workers do after they conclude their government career? They go into politics. So I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't get
mayor of New York. That's a big get.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get Sigourney Weaver in there.
Yeah, I think she's a bigger star.
Yeah,
I think she gave them her cameo last time.
Yeah, in Afterlife.
And that's that's it. I was really hoping for Rick Moranis.
Yeah,
me too.
I was hoping for.
He let us down again.
Something.
I was hoping that would be the end credit, that he pops up. Yeah.
I mean, even like they didn't even show in the wow, I just had a blank when they're showing video of the previous films. Flashbacks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. The flashbacks, they didn't even show. That would have been an opportunity, unless that went away, against his wishes. I don't know. It would have been nice to see.
I mean, if it sounds like they're going to keep making these movies, it sounds like they're setting this up to be an ongoing franchise. And if that's the case, they can bring him whenever he's ready. They can bring him in. I mean, the character is an accountant. Winston has a multi-million-dollar corporation. At any point,
there you go.
At any point, he could be reintroduced as the head of accounting, or that weird guy who works in accounting, and for some reason Winston won't let us fire him.
Right.
They could.
What did you think about Egon Light that's running the research lab?
Oh, the girl.
I forget his name, but yeah.
Oh, the guy. Oh, the
guy,
the English guy.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Who looks kind of like Egon from the cartoon?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the blonde hair. Yeah.
Blonde hair. He's wearing the blue jumpsuit instead of the tan jumpsuit. Yeah. He's Egon from the cartoon.
Right. He's Egon from the cartoon. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun movie. They had to find a reason to get the kids from Oklahoma or wherever they were from to get them to New York. So, I mean,
I just remembered another
kind
thing
of contrived, but
I just remember another thing that I was thinking about during the movie that they could have fixed. So what's her name's ghost friend? The ghost Melody.
The ghost friend. Let's discuss the ghost friend. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You first. You first.
My thought was, okay, so one of the things they mentioned with the ghost friend is that she cannot pass over, right? For whatever reason, she's still tied to the earth, and she wants to pass on to the next whatever. I think they had it was all right there. They just needed to string it together. Where she mentions that she accidentally killed her family in the fire, and they've all moved on. She wants to be with them, but she's tied. All she had to do is realize it's that guilt that's keeping her. And so when she finally does help the Ghostbusters at the end to defeat the villain, that could have been like what finally releases her. And you could have mentioned that, like, the guilt was keeping her. She's finally overcome that. Something along the lines like, I couldn't protect my family, but I'm going to help save yours.
Yeah.
And that's what releases her, and now she can move on. And
That would
would
tie
have
it together
given her,
better.
yeah, tied it together better.
Yeah. So I have a thought on
Yeah.
that character. So as I was watching their interactions,
Mhm.
I thought for sure they were going to turn this into a romantic relationship between her and Phoebe. And I was sitting there on the edge of my seat, kind of gritting my teeth a little bit, because this is supposed to be a family-friendly
Mhm.
movie. And, you know, once again, Hollywood is going to go all woke. And so I was pleasantly surprised when they did not go down that route.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't mean that they didn't film those scenes.
Right.
And this was a decision made in post-production that we're not
Yeah.
gonna go down this road. You know, we don't think it's a good idea or whatever.
It was
And-
left
and-
vague enough that
the
you could
tones
read
were
it
there.
either way
And-
you wanted it.
Yeah, and a lot of times when they have to delete storylines in there, there's dialogue that goes along with it.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, it could be that there was more to the story with her
Mhm.
and her guilt and the things that you touched on. But when they took the romance storyline out of it, a lot of that stuff went with it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
the undertones were definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do also think that, like, as a kid that age, you know, whatever that girl's age, like 16, you do stupid things for your friends because your friends are like all that matter to you over your
Yep.
family, you know?
Yep.
So I think it's very much open to read it however you want. And you're probably right. They probably did maybe shoot scenes that way, but who knows? Maybe they cut it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying is that there are the elements for a great film were there. I just don't think they had the time to finesse it. You know, I was telling my sister 'cause she was asking me about it. A big film like this, a lot of times it's really hard to delay because you've got the toys are made, all the other merchandising, the fruit snacks with Ghostbusters on it, the bedding, everything, right? It's a machine, right? So you don't have time to delay it 6 months so you can retool the script. You know, this thing is it's a train and we gotta get on the tracks. Yeah.
Although if they delayed it 6 months, it would be a Halloween film. Huh,
I know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was thinking the same thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just? I don't know. Maybe it was because
I
of the
don't know.
time. Well, they didn't even put it in the summer. Summer would have made sense
Yeah.
to remind everybody why we, you know, because everybody's like, it's cold out. It's in the film. It goes from summer
Yeah.
to frozen. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. They make weird decisions like that
Yeah.
sometimes. If you watch Batman Returns,
Mhm.
Batman Returns is set during Christmas.
Right.
Yes.
And that movie came out in June of 1992.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I always found that weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I can one thing that I noticed, you know, I have a you guys know I have a proton pack that I bought
Mhm.
from HasLab a few years ago. Apparently the production company was thinking ahead and just bought a bunch of those, because what I'm seeing in all the Ghostbuster Facebook groups I'm in is that those aren't props that they're walking around with. Those are off the shelf Hasbro HasLab packs that they have modified to make them screen worthy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it makes sense. That HasLab pack is based on actual production model stuff
Yeah.
that they use to make these movies. So you now have a mass-produced version of your prop. You
Mhm.
might as well go the other direction now and use that mass-produced prop. I mean, the same thing happened in later episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. The phasers and communicators they were using were the toys that Art Asylum was putting out, because
Yeah,
they had made them to such exacting detail that it made sense.
right.
Yeah. Chazbiz mentioned, did you get the brass one, which is a plot point in the movie? Which, well, it brings up something else for me too. And I'm trying to piece it together from my one viewing of the movie. So the original packs, right? And they have the original packs, and then Winston's company redesigned the packs, right?
Yeah.
Now the redesigned packs are the ones that first went up against the Frozen Demon and didn't work, and then it was the old school packs that they had rebuilt with brass parts that did kind of work. Do I have that right?
I think so.
Now,
Sounds right.
my question has nothing to do with what I just said, but my question is, what did you think of the redesigned packs that Winston's company put out? Because I thought they looked way too close to the original. I figured a redesigned pack would have looked
They were a little bit more polished, like more of a matte black finish.
they were a little bit smaller. I think the packs were a little bit smaller too, but I would have expected, and I'm sure everybody would have hated the design, no matter what that design would have been.
Yeah.
But they looked like the original ones. The original ones are 40 years old.
Right.
Like the packs and the actual guns themselves, they looked. I couldn't really tell a difference. They looked kind of the same.
Well,
I thought
they're
because
very,
the original ones were put
similar.
together. He literally just threw them together using spare parts. I would have figured that the redesigned ones would have had like molded handles and you know.
Well, I can tell you they are very similar, because all of the I'm in a Facebook group called HasLab Modders.
okay.
And it's for specifically for people who purchased the HasLab pack and wand.
Yeah.
And then they're modifying it for whatever reason. And there are a lot of people who, as soon as these trailers came out, they started taking stills and modifying their pack to look like the new one. Yeah. So it's that close. They're that close to each other that you could take an old one, and slap some parts on it and paint this part, repaint that part. The bumper that goes across the back of the cyclotron. The new one, they refer to it as the bikini bumper, because it looks like a bikini. It's got three.
Gotcha.
It's got three things instead of the two, and it's yellow. So I mean, they are that close that you can.
I think it's funny they introduced that arm cannon thing that Janine had, which basically kind of breaks the idea of a proton pack, because if she can shoot the beam with just a small little device on her wrist, compared to having a whole backpack and the cords.
Well, here's the thing: the packs, they can't shoot forever. They overheat and they have to cool off. So I'd imagine that smaller one that she has can shoot a beam for an even shorter period of time,
like an emergency thing.
Like more like it's like a handgun,
like a
as opposed to a rifle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if that was like a practical thing for a 70-some-odd-year-old actress.
Oh, for sure.
Who didn't want to wear, because to make those packs look realistic, they got to have a little bit of heft to them. I would imagine the props are probably still pretty heavy.
It'll give us another thing to sell. It's all of it combined.
Yeah.
That was my point. Another thing to sell, and that's a good point, is the redesigned packs. That's another reason why I'm surprised they didn't, that Winston's company didn't design them differently. Same fundamental thing, a backpack with a hose that goes to a gun, but a redesign to make them look more stylish, so they don't look like they're from spare parts. Is you could sell the toys and the new props and the new this and that.
I think you have to be careful with how much you change it. Okay, in that every iteration of the Enterprise that we've ever seen, it's a saucer, it's a neck, it's a primary hull, it's two pylons and two nacelles. That's it. That is always going to be the Starship Enterprise. There will never be anything that looks like the Defiant that is called the Enterprise. It always has to have that basic configuration. So I think they can update things, but they're gonna. It's still got to resemble the old one.
Yeah, Scott, don't worry. If they get another movie, they're gonna redesign the packs again. because they're gonna have all new product to sell again.
I hope
That's
so
just what
because
they're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do.
lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
Scott's just trying to decide, when am I going to jump in? Which kind
Right.
of pack? Which
Yeah.
kind of pack
Right.
do I want?
Right. I expected something that would come out of like maybe the Apple store. I figured it would be like a sleek LEDs.
That's when we get J.J. Abrams Ghostbusters.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
my
I
goodness.
figured they would make their own camera flares.
Yeah.
I was just expecting something a complete redesign that didn't or I know I'm beating a dead horse. I just thought I was going to see something different.
Well,
I'm not
just so you
disappointed.
know,
I love the old packs.
Yeah.
just so you know, some of these modders are fully engaged in the process of converting one of those popcorn bucket traps into a drone that'll actually fly.
Of course.
That is how nerdy some of these guys are.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
That's
awesome.
fine with me. I
You know,
hope I see one at the next Comic-Con.
when the last movie came out, they were slapping them on RC cars and driving them around Comic-Con parking lots. So
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
great. It's great.
I hope
These
to see one
guys
at the next Comic-Con.
they're
So.
severely nerding out, and it's awesome. So
That's awesome.
Which reminds me, we got a Comic-Con coming up in
that's
Kalamazoo, April 12th through the 14th. I'm hopefully going to be there all 3 days. So if you're in the Kalamazoo area, hit me up on Facebook. Maybe we can do a meetup.
Nice.
cool.
Nice. Right on.
I'll have to check if I'm going to be in Kalamazoo that
Check
weekend
your
or not.
schedule, will you?
Yeah, I'm going to check it.
It's only what, a 12-hour drive?
Something like that.
Okay.
I could do
It's
it.
a lot longer for me. Yeah. But yeah, so that was the movie. We should probably get to feedback.
Yay.
Listener feedback.
All right. So let me put the link in the Facebook group or in the chat so people can join us. Yeah. So let's see, any feedback going? No, I don't have it. Did you guys get any feedback this week?
I did not.
I don't have a receptacle for feedback, so
Okay.
I might have to work on that. So
Fair enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
going to see if there's
Receptacle.
right. I'm going to see if there's
I don't have a receptacle.
Trekcast me-centric related Gmail account that could be taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to mention any of my ideas for one because I don't want somebody to
here he
snatch
is.
them up and request,
We got
demand thousands of dollars for one.
We've got feedback. So here we go. There he is in the car.
Hey,
In the car.
Oh, look at that sunroof.
he's right
Yeah.
next to me. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
He's in his own
I'm
shuttlecraft.
sitting right next to Dan right now.
Yeah,
I've been quiet this whole time. I just let
that's
him.
right.
That's
Very,
great.
very-
Yeah, I've been nodding my head and like,
Yeah,
Whatever
he's
this
in one
is.
of Discovery's like 95 different shuttlecraft that they have.
There you go.
Don't crash. This show is not that important.
Exactly.
I'm not in Great Britain either, so I got the wife driving, and it's kind of scary.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Oh, good.
Did you watch the movie?
Is she gonna say hello to the viewers?
Hello. we're going to an early movie, and she's like, "I did not do my hair. Don't put me on here."
Nice.
Nice.
What movie are you guys gonna go see?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Throwback.
we're reviewing that next week. What
Yeah.
is
Okay,
this?
yeah, we're reviewing that next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the director? It was Nora Ephron. I guess we'll do a whole Nora Ephron movies. So
There you go. There you go.
yeah, you've got Mel and When Harry Met Sally. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. So what'd you think of Ghostbusters?
I liked it, but my complaint is too many characters.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You
complaint.
didn't have enough time to flesh out the protagonist or anything because you're showing everybody that recently was in the other movies, because everybody wants to see what everybody's up to,
Right.
and if they could have made the movie a little bit longer, they probably could have done that. But was it under 2 hours?
Just under. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, just under
Yeah, you're
2
right.
hours.
Half the characters could have not been there, and you wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
the difference.
you did need to bring the friends from Oklahoma, probably.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
the
was cool to
podcast
see him, but
kid.
you didn't
But-
need podcast. You didn't need the older brother. You didn't need the older brother's romantic interest.
Mhm.
You didn't need
What-
Walter
yeah.
Peck.
You didn't
There's
need
a
the
lot of
mom
characters that
because the
you
mom
didn't
didn't
need the
do.
mom. Didn't do
No.
much. Although she kind of had to be there for the. And I kind of liked where they were going with the whole. I don't know what my role as stepdad is.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I think they could have buttoned that up a little bit better instead of like her accidentally calling him dad and then going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I meant."
I don't
whatever
think it
your
was
name
an. I don't think it was an accident.
Yeah.
I think she desperately wants a dad. She's never
Yeah.
had a dad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's never had.
Right.
You know, in
so you
a
think she
lot of
called
in
him
a
dad
lot
on
of
purpose and then played it off like an accident?
yes,
Okay.
in a lot
Yes.
of in a lot of families, where there isn't a dad present, you know, the grandfather steps in a lot of times and raises his grandkids, and he is the positive male role model.
Mhm.
She didn't have that either.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Egon is gone, her dad is gone, she has no positive male role model, and then here comes this Gruberson guy, and hey, he's, you know, he's a scientist like me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't think that was an accident.
Yeah. I kind of wish, you know, if you're going to stick with the family, they should have either stuck with the family more or added some of the other characters. That I don't know. That's the thing. It was just too many, and it was just hard to.
If you really
It was hard to
wanted
follow.
to, you could have broken this up into two movies. In that you end this first film where like the what was the name of the main bad guy? I forget. Garon or
Well, that's the
Garon?
thing. I thought the bad guy was cool, and I thought Kumail Nanjiani did a
Frozone.
good job.
Yeah, Frozone. Yeah, no, you could. So what you could have done is maybe this movie they take out one of its generals, right? But you end the movie where it gets its horns, it's unleashed the ghost army, you know, and all the ghosts are under its
Justice
command.
League all over again.
Kind of, yeah.
Because that's what that guy reminded me of.
Right.
I would have liked if they just met a haunted house, but the haunted house is the Ghostbusters house.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they're moving back in there, and they got to do something with the containment unit because it's leaking.
Yeah.
And just come back there and have to figure out
Yeah,
what
but what
are
I'm
we going to do
saying
with
is,
this
you
old
know,
building.
The next movie, then you bring in those side characters that you didn't really have time for anyways.
Yeah.
You just kind of throw them in. But like basically, we need help, and then you call in those other guys, and then the next movie is they take on the big monster, and it's Ghost Army.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel, because when they all
Of course,
grab
it's all about family.
when they all
family.
grab the proton pack at the end and they bust that ghost like a family.
Everybody gets their Corona at the end of the movie, has the barbecue.
Then they go to Olive Garden.
Then they go to Olive Garden. That's right.
Yeah. Then they tune the Ecto one and put some pipes on it. And
Get
the flames on the Ecto one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
man,
it.
the Ecto one with nitrous would be amazing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to stop, but
no, never.
It's got like probably drum brakes all the way around.
I know this is this is sacrilege. I know there's going to be some Ghostbuster nerds who are going to hate me for this.
Yeah,
they need to upgrade the Ecto one.
They need new vehicle.
Yeah,
you know, it's a 60-year-old car.
I love it though. I love it.
Oh God, I want an Ecto PT Cruiser.
Yeah, Ecto PT Cruiser.
I want like a modern SUV, all tricked out. That's what I want.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to see.
Because they could have made
an Ecto Cybertruck.
Ecto one, you know, it's a Cybertruck. Is that what you said? Oh,
yeah. You need something kind of funky looking. That would work.
You know, I think the Cybertruck would be great for if they redo Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You think Winston's character could have donated a vehicle to them? He has this whole nice center and everything.
Well, he had Ecto one. You know, he brought it to Mako at the end of the last
I bought
movie,
you a Dodge Neon. Good luck.
Prius.
Dodge.
Yeah.
Subaru Outback.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought that part was kind of messy too, because you had, you know, you're spending too much time with Winston's little place, and then you got to add screen time on that, and then you got to add screen time on the family, and then screen time here.
Yeah.
And you're under, was it 2 hours? and you don't have time to flesh out the antagonist and the protagonist because she's sidelined pretty much through the whole movie.
Right. There wasn't a main character. Like
No,
the closest was
I
Phoebe.
I wish her and Ray, because Ray, Dan Aykroyd's so crazy with Ghost right now.
Mhm.
You tell he was into the movie.
Oh, for
And
sure.
super excited.
Yeah.
I wish they would have focused on his character more because I don't know, he's so goofy, and then maybe
Yeah,
Phoebe.
That's true.
It should have been a Ray and Phoebe movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you bring the other two in at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Bill Murray, he just took a paycheck. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bill Murray just threw pencils at Kumail and was like, that's what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that could have been a CGI Bill Murray. Nobody would.
Yeah.
It will be
Yeah.
in the future.
Honestly, I'm gonna get the hate, but they didn't need him.
Yeah.
No, because he
They didn't need him at all.
No. If you're not going to show up and act like you care, you're just like, I'm here, whatever.
Send your hate mail to trekcasttng@gmail.com.
I love.
Put attention, Dan, in the subject line.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
I enjoy looking at these movies sometimes and applying logic to certain things and then chuckling to myself. Like we know from the last movie that Egon stole Ecto-1, all the packs, all the traps, and moved to Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm just imagining Egon in Ecto-1 on this like old style Route 66 road trip, just him and all the equipment.
Yeah, here's Oklahoma for you. See, Oklahoma, It's like, how are you going to get all your friends to New York, too, and live there?
Yeah.
It was like, everybody uproots from here and moves to New York because it's super cheap in New York City.
Yeah, they really do explain that.
Famously,
Super
one of the
cheap.
cheapest cities. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like podcast. That really confused me because podcast is a minor. He's just gonna.
Well, yeah, he's a minor. and his
living in the
parents-
basement of Ray's occult bookstore. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
When you were
Yeah.
14, if you went to your parents, hey, I'm going to go live in this strange man's basement for the summer.
Really, she
You
should
cool-
have invited.
Don't
Oh,
forget
he
the rest.
lived in a cult
Well,
bookstore too.
Podcast should have been invited over for the summer, whatever,
Yeah.
and that would have made more sense than him with Ray,
Yeah.
because he's a minor with an old man, and it's kind of weird. So I was like,
Yeah.
where are you living at? What are you doing? I have no idea.
Right.
So
Right.
it made more sense to have your friends come to New York and like, hey, I need you, for backup because they sidelined me because the
Yeah.
city won't let me work. And
Mhm.
so they got to do the busting on their own because they're young. And that's when you get the older brother that could drive and do things. And you
Mhm.
focus on the
I've
kids.
been working at the Research Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the love interest of the older brother too. Yeah,
I forget her
I'm
name,
like,
Lucky or something.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I think that's her name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucky. Like, I didn't understand. Well, based on the conversation of the last movie, where he says, "Where are you from?" and she says, "I don't know." And he says, "Let's find out." Oh, wait a minute, that was another franchise. Yeah, it just it was weird that she was like, "Who are you? You're gonna work for me now?"
Yeah.
Winston, I didn't understand the connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it would have been better picking them up at LaGuardia in the Ecto-1.
Yep.
Because it's summer. It's
Yeah.
summer, and we're going to New York City for the first
Right.
time, and
Yeah.
they're there, and they're like, "Wow!" Look at
Well, yeah,
this.
you're
This
from-
is great."
What if she
you're
walked in
from
and goes,
Oklahoma.
I was in the last movie. I'm here now. And that's it. No other
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah.
Like inviting the kids for like an internship or something, or like
Yeah,
a summer
yeah.
thing.
What they really
would
need-
made a lot more sense.
All they needed to do was have Ray turn to Gruberson and say, "See if podcast can delay his return to Deep Space Nine while we run
Yes.
this mission."
That's right.
And that's
That-
all you need. That's
That's
it.
all you would need.
That's
That's
all
all
you
you
They
would
just
need.
they need to wharf that shit. That's it.
Yeah.
Just wharf it.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Fantastic
It would have made.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anything else?
I could kind of see why, Ivan Reitman's son, didn't direct the movie because he probably saw the script and he's like, man, I can't fix
He helped
this.
write the script.
He helped write the
Yeah,
script.
he helped write it, but they probably
Well,
had
he
so
got a
much
writing credit.
oversight. Yeah. They probably added so much crap in there that he couldn't finish it. So he's like, no.
Probably had other stuff to do. He was just like, all right, someone else can do this movie.
Yeah.
I was glad to see. Obviously, I was glad to see Annie Potts. She's a national treasure.
Oh, yeah.
I loved her. Did you guys notice the other minor character that was in there that was in the very first movie?
He was the manager at the library.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
actor.
library.
That
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, I was hoping they'd call the mayor Dickless or whatever the guy's name is.
So somebody said that. Somebody in the crowd yelled
Dickless?
Dickless at him.
Okay, cool.
Which is the most New York thing that you can do.
Yes. There's not enough cursing in the movie.
Did you see the TikTok of the guy? He's walking down the street. He runs into what's his name? Who was the mayor? The last
De Blasio.
mayor. Runs into De Blasio, and he's like, "Hey!" And the two of them are posing. He goes, "Yeah, hey! Thanks for fucking up the city, asshole." It was the greatest thing.
That's amazing.
That's correct. This man has no dick.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
when he yelled at him, I was like, "That is the most New York City thing that you could do."
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome.
So,
All right.
I like Dan. It's like, well, we just ruined that day. We got a mature rating now.
Sorry. It's fine. It's
New York.
That was something I was going to mention about the old Trekcast episodes. Is you guys cursed a lot back then.
yeah.
Oh,
There were a lot of F-bombs.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Oh
sure.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to be good boys.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Jasmine, anything else you want to bring up?
That's it. I got to see this movie because I'm.
All right, good luck.
All right, go.
All right.
Go.
Thank you.
Get your Sleepless in Seattle popcorn bucket.
Oh yeah. Yes. It'll be the Empire
Space
State
Needle.
Building.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
Right, so-
Boy. I did ask the Facebook group. One of the things you guys did back in the day was you guys were talking about your favorite Chads and your favorite Dans and your favorite,
Mhm.
Daniels. And you guys talked about mostly for Chad, it was Hanging Chad. Everybody loved Hanging Chad.
Mhm.
And your favorite Dan was Danny LaRusso. Daniel
Right,
Hahn.
of course.
So I asked, what's your favorite Scott? I got a couple of them here. Dan Lombardo gave a reference to Michael Scott from The Office.
Nice.
Also, Scott Toilet Paper. Thank you. And then Tim Lamb gave a Back to the Future reference. The saying of "Great Scott"
There you go.
was one of his. So I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice. It's a good triumvirate right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what do we have coming up in the near future?
So next week we'll be doing our prediction show for Star Trek Discovery Season 5.
Okay.
And then right after that, the show starts.
So
and
we're doing a show next Sunday?
That's
Yeah,
Easter,
for
isn't it?
predictions.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's-
We should probably do it Saturday then. Yeah. I did not even realize that. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I love this. This is almost like its own segment. The last
That's right.
minute, the last
What are we
minute
doing
of the
next time?
show. The last minute of the show is us making plans on the show and then going, you know what? We'll figure it out. Let you know.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I didn't want to not mention it because then it would be off the air and nobody would know.
You're right. Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I meant to bring my A game.
Yeah.
You brought,
Well, you brought A game.
A game.
Yeah.
A game.
Yeah. So I will be on for the following week when Discovery starts up again. I will be on the road, but I plan on being here. So
Okay.
I might be in a shuttle pod.
If we do predictions,
Whoa, that's my thing, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you're not the only one that has a shuttle pod.
that's right.
Okay.
On this show, I am.
I've got
I've got a
the
Kia
USS
shuttle pod in my
Edge.
driveway.
I've got the USS Edge. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Edge.
And it doesn't have car seats.
Oh,
What do you stand in yours?
Yes, I stand. No, I take my infants and I just put them in the back seat.
Okay.
Like a dad from the '80s.
there you
Nice.
go. They're fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Nice.
Awesome.
So
Well, yeah. Just remember, guys, we're on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X now, TikTok, and Instagram. Like and subscribe. That helps people see the show. Also, give us a 5-star review. That also helps on your podcast catchers or apps or whatever. And
You want to give out the phone number?
I was just about to.
Hey, there you
phone
go.
number. Leave us a voicemail. 570-661-0001. No one will answer your call, but you can leave us a message, and that'll be great.
So who you
Yep.
gonna call? You're gonna
Us.
call Trekcast.
You can call Trekcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. And,
yeah.
and for all those haters out there that those Ghostbusters purists, just again, that's trekcasttng@gmail.com. Or just send me a Facebook message if you want Dan's phone number.
For those of you who enjoyed the Girl Ghostbusters and waiting for that to come back, let us know.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Notice I never give out my receptacle.
No, never. Oh, if you got My Little Ponies to sell, let us know. Email us so Dan
Nice.
can hear about it.
Nice.
Dan will send a link to his eBay store.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
BronySupreme@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My Little Pony 1701.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Well,
somebody has that, and they're going to be like, "What the hell is Trek? I got this email. What the hell is Trekcast?"
BronySupreme@gmail for sure. For sure, somebody has that. Awesome. All right.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye on the social media. We'll let you know if we have a show next week or not.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
sounds good.
Have a good one.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?